Adverb phrases add information about the action in a sentence. For example, you can say, the team ran, or you can say, the team ran for 70 miles. In the second sentence, you have an adverb phrase that's giving additional information about how far the team ran. So, first off, what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words working together as a unit that does not include a subject and a verb. Some examples of phrases are behind the wall, over there, and except for her. Notice that none of these groups of words include a subject and a verb. There's no action word in any of these phrases. Next thing you need to know what an adverb is. So an adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb in the sentence. Adverbs answer the questions where, when, how, or to what extent. Here are some examples. I read quietly. In this sentence, quietly is an adverb that describes read. Quietly explains how I read. In the sentence, he sang happily, happily describes how he sang. Happily is the adverb that explains how. In the sentence, they ran quickly, quickly describes how they ran. So as you may have guessed, an adverb phrase is simply a phrase or a group of words that modifies or describes a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Here are some examples. We danced under the stars. Under the stars is a phrase that describes or explains where we danced. We danced as wildly as possible. The phrase as wildly as possible explains how we danced. We danced before the sunrise. Before the sunrise explains when we danced. Here are a couple of helpful tips to keep in mind as you are trying to identify and use adverb phrases. So first off, prepositional phrases can also be adverb phrases. It can sometimes seem confusing when you see a prepositional phrase, right? So a group of words that begins with a preposition, because it can sometimes be difficult to determine if that phrase is prepositional or adverb. But the reality is, prepositional phrases can be used as adverbs, right? So if we go back to the earlier example, we danced under the stars. In this sentence, under the stars is a prepositional phrase. You have the word under, which is a preposition, and then you have the group of words that functions together. This group of words, despite also being a prepositional phrase, describes danced or explains where we danced, and therefore it is considered an adverb phrase as well. Now, for one quick common mistake that a lot of people make when they are trying to identify adverb phrases is they often, instead of identifying adverb phrases, actually end up identifying adverb clauses. And the big difference between a phrase and a clause is that a clause includes both a subject and verb, and a phrase does not. So going back again to our examples from earlier, if we say we danced before the sunrise here is a phrase, right? You'll notice that there is no verb in this phrase, before the sunrise. But if we change this a little bit to instead say, we danced until the sun came up, now you'll notice that the sun is the subject and came up is the verb. So this has now turned from a phrase into a clause. And that's a really important distinction to be able to make, because once you have that subject and verb together in this group of words, it's no longer a phrase, it is now a clause. And so if you're trying to understand the difference between the two, that's what you're looking for. So now let's do some practice so that you can really solidify your understanding and make sure you know what all of this looks like in practice. All right, number 1, the sun set slowly over the horizon. The adverb phrase here is slowly over the horizon, and it describes the verb set. Number 2, he laughed nervously at the joke. The adverb phrase in this sentence is nervously at the joke, which describes how he laughed. And example number 3, she sang more beautifully than ever. More beautifully than ever is your adverb phrase that describes the verb sang. That brings us to the end of our lesson. Thanks for watching.